Guidelines, grades K through 5.
Welcome! Today we're talking about the CHAMPS Classroom Management Strategies for Guidelines, grades K through 5. You can see by this chart that rules and guidelines share some of the same characteristics, but they are also very different. Rules are specific behavior statements that all students are expected to follow. Guidelines go above and beyond as general positive statements about attitudes, traits, and behaviors.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. We're going to review our classroom guidelines. The first thing we're going to look at is try our best. We must do our best at all given times during the day and all assignments.
In other words, guidelines help set the tone for how students should behave in order to be successful in the classroom and in life. Traits like politeness, sharing, respect, and doing their best.
Wayne, I forgot to tell you, yesterday you did a great job on your science
That's why
test.
guidelines aren't tied to negative consequences like rules are, but used to encourage and redirect students toward positive behaviors and good choices. You'll want to create a poster with 3 to 5 basic, observable guidelines and post them prominently in your classroom where they can be seen at all times. Any more than 5 guidelines can be confusing. Here are some examples of guidelines for grades K through 5. Try your best. Treat others with kindness. Sharing is caring. Respect each other's differences. Cooperate. All students from kindergarten through grade 5 benefit from having clear guidelines. Use age-appropriate language, acronyms, pictures, and rhymes to develop your guidelines. After you create your guidelines poster, you're also going to create a T-chart that shows what each guideline looks like and sounds like. Let's say you're teaching the guideline, Try Your Best. What does Try Your Best look like in your classroom? If you already know your students have a difficult time staying focused, you may define this guideline as giving eye contact with the speaker, looking at the board, and completing all of the questions on the worksheet. What does Try Your Best sound like? Try Your Best could be defined as level 0 conversation in the room during work time, students remaining silent while someone else is talking, and asking questions if they don't understand something. Watch as this teacher demonstrates.
Okay, boys and girls, I need you to try your best. And I will know that you're trying your best by me looking at you, seeing that you're on task, you're looking at the assignment that's in front of you, you're completing your assignments, and you're answering your questions correctly. I will hear that you're doing your best by there's no sounds within the room. We're on a level 0. We're also reading silently. If you have any questions, raise your hand. Do not yell out. Thank you.
Guidelines can change depending on the needs of your students. Here's another example. This one ties the guideline of respect to the rule of keeping hands and feet to yourself. The students need to know exactly what respect means in order to behave respectfully. What behaviors demonstrate respect? What behaviors don't? What does respect look like, sound like? Watch.
Okay, boys and girls, remember our classroom guideline today is respect others. That means keep your hands and feet to yourself. We're respecting our differences by doing so. So we're walking quietly with our hands and feet to ourselves. Thank you.
Preemptive responses like the one you've just seen are a great way to guide behavior before a rule is broken, create a teachable moment, avoid giving a consequence, and avoid having a negative interaction with a student. Here's one more guideline T-chart example. Cooperate with others. What does this sound like? Look like?
Okay, boys and girls, it's time for us to transition to our centers. I want you to remember that we're using our classroom guidelines to cooperate. I will see that you're cooperating by you sharing your equipment. I will hear that you're cooperating by seeing you on a level 0. That means no talking at the center. At this time, those persons that are a part of this center, please come at this time.
When deciding which guidelines to use, think about which ones will prevent the most rule breaking in your classroom. Which ones will have the most positive effect? Which ones are most important to you? Sometimes guidelines have been created for the whole school or a specific grade level. In that case, use them in your classroom by defining them for your students in the way we've described here. Students are very adaptable once they know the expectations. And remember, having your students role model your guidelines means they understand them. And don't forget that you are the best role model for your guidelines and a powerful force in creating and maintaining a positive classroom environment.
Christina, you were out yesterday. How do you feel today?
Great.
We missed you. Glad to have you back.